Okay. Welcome. This is my first Write With Me session in a long time. That should tell you something. It's been a minute since I've sat down and actually written the way I was supposed to. And yeah, I'm feeling a bit guilty. Your girl's feeling a little bad about this. Because I'm like, I love to escape to these worlds and write about these characters because it helps me learn something too sometimes. But it's like lately I've just been doing so much writing. Don't look at me like that, Anna. It ain't that. Come on now. My thing is, I've just been so focused on my full time job and, trying to keep a roof over my kids' heads. And I get that it's like hard. It's been hard to like carve out that time to really write. And so today, I managed to get a lot of things going, a lot of things in motion where I was like, okay, let's just do at least an hour. Like at the very least, if we do nothing else, let's write out this scene. But see, my issue is I'm not a pantser. I'm a plotter. And so this entire scene that I know I want to write, I also need to like talk it out. And I need to like get there are like some major points and minor points that I don't want to forget. And I'm just like, now is the perfect time just to go ahead and write them down. No matter how trivial or like how insignificant they might seem, they need to get down. I'm not writing the whole scene right now. You're not going to see that. I have my playlist ready to write the scene. I realized I needed the perfect music to write the playlist. And I mean, I needed the perfect playlist to write this scene. And it was like, well, who is it going to be? Who's going to be the what is going to be the artist that handles this? And I was like, it's going to be Pink. And let me show you real quick. Like this is, I'm going to show you my Pink playlist. But since I can't like have that playing on YouTube, I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and do kind of my royalty free music first while I talk this out. So this particular scene, it is a catalyst for a lot of things that happen in book two. And I'm trying to make sure we handle this scene as delicately as possible because there are certain elements in book two that I need to make sure the reader already knows. And so by the time we get to this chapter that has this scene in it, there are already like certain relationships that have been set up. And I don't want to feel like I'm rushing it, which is another reason why I'm thinking about doing Goddess of Flames book 1.5, Dying Embers, where that gives me more space to grow the relationships because I don't want to rush it. But, let me go ahead and talk this out. So this scene takes place, of course, after they have defeated Roshinara. And it feels like, oh, the setting is in South Carolina. So it takes place in Roshiton, South Carolina, which is a fictional town that I made up. It's a town that is, where is it? Is near, I will say it's near Marion, South Carolina. And that's the best I'm going to, it's like somewhere between Marion and the coast of South Carolina. That's we're gonna just leave it at that. That's where Roshiton is. Somewhere in between those two spots. And so, it sucks. They don't, it's a sucky town. At the end of the day, there is no middle class. It's either just there's the rich and then there's the poor. Like there's no middle class there. And so the only reason why like our central family like is okay is because the grandmother owns several acres and land and a house, and they had to move from Philadelphia to be with her. So that's that. for those of y'all who don't know the story of the Carters in Goddess Flames Book 1. They moved from Philadelphia to South Carolina. So, anywho, this takes place though in Book 2, after the events of Book 1. Duh, after. So this is me having to be very delicate with post-traumatic stress disorder, having to be very delicate with the realities of how people deal after like a major fight, a major battle, a major trauma. So this scene stars Luke Carter, who is now a new hybrid. Naya, his girlfriend, the goddess of flames. Hold on. I'm going to see if somebody is at my door. I feel like somebody is at the door. I'm going to come back with the introduction. Sorry, I hear someone banging. Okay, that was my son being weird. All right. So anyway, let's get back to the introduction. So that's Luke. So this scene takes place at the Carter house. Everybody is gathered there for a barbecue. They're trying to have some semblance of normalcy. I should have made her smaller. That's Clara. She's small. She's supposed to be much smaller. Anywho, it's all their attempts at some kind of normalcy and trying to push themselves into a place of normalcy and not properly dealing with their trauma or addressing it, to be honest. They're just trying to look at it like we have our happy ending. Let's go. So they are having a barbecue at their house. And this is what is supposed to be like a casual setting that quickly turns into something that is mortifying for Naya, who's currently on the scene. Clara, her little sister, is kind of the catalyst for this. Anna's there, kind of more as a background player, but also like, and Carlo is there too, but they're there as like Naya's sidekicks and almost protectors. Matt is there, and he is like instigator number 2, whereas Shayna is instigator number 1. Someone is banging. Like, who is that? I'm sorry. I just feel like someone is like playing a prank on me or something. So I'm like, who's banging? So anyway. So that's pretty much, Kariai is also there, but I don't have a 3D picture of him. So you just need to imagine a kid with white hair and super dark blue eyes. So yeah. This one is, I'm like, why I need to divorce the fear. I need to like really focus on the fact that like I can do this. I can write this. Let me turn that down a little bit. I can do this. I can write this. I think I'm afraid to approach the realities of this, which is Clara and her little sister Chelsea, who technically is one of the quote unquote altered ones, as the townspeople are now called. They are humans who were once possessed by demons fully, but they have gotten, I'm not going to say they've gotten their human soul back. What they've gotten is a human soul reattached back to them that now rules the physical body. And it creates a very interesting cocktail of psychic energy within. But the point is, while they have like heightened abilities, like heightened strength, they aren't able to unlock what Anna, Carlo, Naya, Shayna, Luke, really what they can do. Like they aren't able to like evoke fires as easily as they can. And so her sister, though, it becomes known. I have to stop saying things like kind of, what words. So her sister, it becomes known that her little sister Chelsea, who I think is, gosh, at the time of book two, she'd be either 8 or 9. I feel like she's 8 or 9. She hears Luke and Naya doing something behind closed doors. And to her, it sounds like Naya is being harmed, if you get my drift. She even hears the three words that alarm her. She hears please, don't, and stop. Now, knowing that is the type of information that I want to put here on this blank piece of paper. That's what I'm gonna what is gonna wind up here is like these are plot pieces that are very important. So let me move this out of the way and also get the typing while I'm talking like old dispatcher style. And so from Luke's point of view, because he and Chelsea have always been cool. She's like their little mascot, you know? He's like, and he's always been good with kids. So it's like, he notices today she's treating him weirdly. Like she's glaring at him more. She's got this, she's like not trying to be around him. She's like clinging more to their gran and to their mom. I didn't show you. Yeah, this is their mom. The last woman here is their mom. I think that's pink now. So let's get back into our royalty free music. So yeah, that's Matt right there. Their adopted brother. That's Shayna. She's I didn't say their ages or anything, and that's their mom, Shanice Carter. So the thing about Shanice is she can see spirits, okay? But she doesn't make a big deal about it. Her attitude, she's very pragmatic about things. Her attitude is very much like, this is life. I gotta work and I gotta keep a roof over my kids' heads because I'm a single mom. Like I'm out here doing it. Like I ain't got time to be caught up in all of these adventures and mystical bullshit. Like no, like I got a mom who practices voodoo and all of this stuff. She's like, nah, I'm not here for none of that. Because that's what Gran does. Gran is a full-on voodoo practitioner and is good at it. But she grew up watching her mama do that and being like, nah, I'm not interested. Nah. And that's how Luke is too. Luke was not interested in magic and none of that stuff. So the thing about this is, today at this house, little Chelsea is like just mad dogging Luke. Like just upset. Like it's, and I have to let's put that up there. Like she's upset. Like it's literally, the anger is literally radiating off of her. I mean, like if looks could kill, she would have opened up hell and sucked Luke into it. And so finally, I think it is Shanice who kind of like pulls her to the side and asks her like, what's wrong? And so Luke, this is all, so I'm trying to figure out, like I'm going to tell this story, I feel like from different POVs, because this is something very important that's happening. And there's a mystery here that I have to tell you guys about. So everyone notices Luke and Naya acting strangely. But they don't know why. Like Naya is normally very poised, cool, calm, collect. This time around, she is, and I'm putting this as a character profile. Naya, character contrast. Naya are acting weird. Why? And I'm gonna let you see this at the end. So Naya, she's normally cool, calm, and collect, very poised. Today, she's, how can I describe it? She seems nervous and scared and awkward, like her movements. Yeah, she's like nervous, scared, and she's displaying really awkward movements, especially around Luke. Luke has always been very like, he's very chill. Like he is like the leader when it comes to his siblings, and he's very like a take charge person. Like he's captain of the football team. He's like used to being the leader in situations. But with Naya around and knowing the great power she has, like he's okay, like falling back and being her. I don't know. I guess in sports terms, it would be like the running back to her quarterback. I don't know, like wide receiver to her quarterback. I don't know. That's, yeah. The point is, he's okay taking orders and like following her lead. Or at times when she puts him in that seat of like, I need you next to me, like fighting next to me, he's okay with that. So, point is, she he's normally very chill around Naya. Like this time today, he is like overprotective and like almost like really, I don't want to say bossy, that's the wrong word. He's just like really like being like ordering her around, not ordering her around. See, this is what I mean. It's why you got to talk it out. It's very like he's guiding her movements and leading her movements throughout the day. Like he's being kind of controlling. Yeah, that's the way I will describe it. It's kind of controlling, but it's for a reason. So this is where I need to be very delicate with the why, because the why of these two behavior is also has to be intricately woven in here. Naya, uh, today is protective and like a kind of controlling, moving her around and directing her places. But the reason he's doing it is because he notices she's distracted. So I need to put that in parentheses. Doing this is because he knows she's distracted and distressed about what happened earlier. About what happened earlier. Yeah. Because what happened earlier isn't just what happened earlier. It's more so it's kind of like the highest form of disrespect to a woman that she has a really high level of respect for. And so I need to also talk about how Striana is like a major player here, and the puppet spell, basically. It's a sexual magic, and I need to talk about that. So, um, so Luke and Naya are both infected with the puppet spell. Naya has been infected for centuries, whereas Luke only just He is double infected though. He's the only one who's double infected. No one has. I don't think anyone has ever been double infected. I'm gonna have to research that further in their world. But as far as I know at this point, as far as what I've written and uncovered, praises to the Most High, he's the only one who's been infected by two different women. So Larai first infected him with the puppet spell, and then Naya infected him to override Larai is her sister, and and one of the antagonists of book one. So Luke is double infected, and Naya was infected a long, 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 long time ago by technically, Roshanara, their mother, but it was Roshanara in Larai's body, controlling Larai. So, you know, the girl looked like Larai. The person that gave the potion and the spell to Naya looked like Larai. So, at the end of the day, they're both infected. And Naya, back then, in those ancient times, she had a shaman seal hers. So the only time that the puppet spell comes up for her is when her, I hate to say this, but when her virginity is taken. So when she finally becomes sexually active, the first person she has sex with is the one that she's gonna wanna is the one that holds the strings of the puppet spell. And in this case, it's Luke. Um, in Luke's case, of course, he just has the double infection from both Larai and Naya, but Naya's spell overrode Larai. So that comes into play later. But the point is, those two are constantly find themselves in a position where they have to give in to those urges. Otherwise, it begins to feel like their body and their soul is like on fire. Like then they've tried this. They've tried to fight it. Like they've done the experiments and they've run the tests to see, like, okay, well, if we don't have this, if we don't succumb to the puppet spell, what happens? Can you hear me okay? Is my sound going out? I don't know. I hope so. Hold on, let me do a mic test. I'm going to do a quick mic test. Test, test, 1, 2. Test, test. Okay, that was my bad. I had the wrong mic on. Okay. I think I have the right mic now. Is it louder? Is it better? Yeah. I had the wrong mic. Whoopsie. I was just talking and talking and talking. Whoopsie. Okay, so anyway, thank you for letting me know my mic was messing up. I had the wrong mic. So, anywho, let me go ahead and reintroduce these people all over again because my mic was messed up. So, the scene that I'm writing, it is dealing with some touchy topics, and it's one that I've been running away from. And so, this is kind of notes that I'm going to be taking over on the side. But oh my gosh, I need something to drink. It's a lot of talking. Anyway, the point is, this is a scene that I'm going to write for like an hour, and I'm going to start at 3:00. It's 2:37 my time. So the point is, I need to just kind of talk out certain story beats. And the thing about this is the way this scene starts off, it it takes place in book 2. That's the first thing. It takes place in book 2. And I didn't even think that this scene was going to get integrated in, but it is. So I also have to find a way to make this make sense, because in my heart I see it does.
but I just have to make it make sense. So this is Luke. This scene stars Luke, his girlfriend Naya, who is the protagonist, the goddess of flames, Clara, one of their friends down there in South Carolina, Anna, who is one of the sidekicks of Naya, as well as Carlo. They were both the first hybrids she's ever created that were half demons, half humans with her essence in them. And this is Matt. He is Luke and Shayna. This is Shayna Carter. He's their adopted brother. So, and this is their mom, Shanice Carter. The way she came to have Matt is her best friend. That's her best friend's son. Matt is her best friend's son. And when her best friend died, she adopted him and raised him as her own. And so he has always been a part of this family since he was 2. So anyway, point is, this is a really delicate story where we're dealing with like themes like PTSD. We're dealing with kids who are dealing with the aftermath of a major battle that was really traumatic, but they're like trying to act like it's just a happily ever after. Like, hey, we won. Let's just be happy. Like, why are we tripping? We don't even need to be tripping. We made it. We won. We should be happy. And this is just how we're going to be. And so they're trying to force this kind of normalcy. And it's not working. Things are just happening and things are just not, things are just not working. And things are falling apart around them. And it's hard because they don't have a big bad to focus on. So when you don't have a big bad on the outside to focus on, you only have the enemy within to focus on. And what's within them are their demons. The very same demons that Roshanara, the lady that they beat in book 1, put in them. So this is some weird dynamics. But either way, this particular scene deals with why Luke and Naya become so crazy about, like, they become really frantic about, we have got to get this sexual magic spell taken off of us. Like, we have to figure out how to break it because it's going to consume us. So the thing about Luke and Naya is they're both infected with something called the puppet spell. Its ancient name is known as Srianya. And they literally do not know how to get rid of it. Naya never has. She's been infected with it for centuries. Luke has been infected with it for, I want to say, some months. But he's the only human who was double infected, as far as I know. He was infected by 2 different women. So I'm going to have to do some further research on what kind of, like, I don't know, I guess on what kind of, like, impact that's going to have. That's the beauty of writing, is that you get to explore these worlds deeper. And so when I don't go into these worlds, it's like I miss out. Anyway, the point is, when it comes to this particular scene, Luke and Naya have just done something that they are ashamed of because, again, they are under the throes of the puppet spell. And so the way the puppet spell is, they get these urges throughout the day where they have to, but they've tried to resist, and if they don't feed Striyana, if they don't succumb, then it begins to feel like their entire body and soul is on fire. Like they become like incapacitated, like they can't move. Like it is hard, like it's the worst pain ever for them. And they're like, what kind of curse is this? This is horrible. But it's also, on the surface, it seems like it would be great because these 2 love each other. And it's like, who wouldn't want to like be able to have wonderful making love sessions with the person you love all the time? But in their case, it's like, there are things that need to get done throughout the day. There are times when we are at strange places and we can't be doing this. Like, you quickly become slave and captive to it. And unfortunately, that is what Luke and Naya suffer from. And that's a theme throughout this series, is that what appears to be good on the surface oftentimes is torture and suffering beneath. And so that's what Luke and Naya are dealing with. And so in this scene, they have just finished doing something that is normally not anything to be ashamed of, because two people showing their love for each other is never anything to be ashamed of. It's the fact that they mistimed their session, and when they needed to quote unquote have their medicine, and they were overdue for it. And as a result, they found themselves doing said thing in Luke's mom's bedroom, which is something neither of them would ever do. And this is a very kind yet no nonsense woman who is like, oh, you are, oh, absolutely not. And so, and they're respectful kids. These are not two people, two 18-year-olds who would disrespect a woman's house like that, you know? They're not. And so Naya feels bad because she and Shanice have a great relationship. Shanice likes her. Like, what girlfriend is like, she's like, hey, I'm the girlfriend the mom actually likes. I don't want to mess this up. I need to be writing this. Yeah. I'm talking, and I can hear my trainer saying more talking, less talk and type, talk and type, talk and type. So where was I? So the point is, with Chelsea Lee, she sees them acting weird, and she assumes it's because of what she heard earlier. And with regard to what she heard, she thought she heard him hurting her, but she didn't hear that. I love these these wind flute sounds. Let me bring that up just a little bit. That's good. That's good stuff right there. So this whole scene is awkward, and I have to make sure I'm using verbiage that denotes just how awkward this is. And so I think that's why I was so afraid and why I've been avoiding it. But it's like, you know what? I'm going to just divorce myself from this inertia and this feeling of like I can't do it, or making excuses for not doing it. And I'm just going to get it done. And immerse myself in the story. I've got 14 minutes to go, you guys. So the sounds she heard earlier coming from Shanice's bedroom. The sounds of Luke hurting Naya. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make sure. So that's the character contrast, is that like Luke and Naya are acting weird. And it's so weird that everyone can notice it. Like, it's noticeable. Um, so, and I'm going to put in underlying notes. So, where Chelsea and Clario live now, because in book one, Roshanara and company, they were just slaughtering. They were just on a rampage. They were just doing the damn thing, and they were leaving orphans everywhere. It's a whole bunch of parents dead. So Clara is with her uncle and aunt. They are like racist Confederate people, and they drink, and he is unfortunately violent. And Chelsea has seen this, and she's projecting onto Luke. And so I need to make sure that I put that in somewhere and somehow, and it's okay. First drafts are always going to be sucky. So, what did I just say? I forgot. I could sit here and I can really talk about these characters all day. I really could. I enjoy these characters. I try to like not make them. I try not to be selfish. I know, like I'm selfish. They're like my baby dolls, and I should be saying more about them and like letting y'all into their world. I'm gonna get better at that. I promise. I am kind of selfish though, and I am kind of overprotective, and I'm gonna get better. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Hey, Carlo. Hey, Matt. So, Chelsea Lee, underlying note, as witnessed. Okay, so this is my pink playlist, so I'm gonna need to like, because I can't be playing her yet. She knows Clara May. Um, da 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 da. May, and so yeah, I'm just building character notes. So I'm gonna put in story beats in just a second, and then I'm gonna write the actual scene, which is gonna be like just a. But I think the main thing is just like you have to look at it more from a character point of view, like a character development point of view. Like in from Naya's point of view, she does not like the fact that she has no control over this, and it is causing her great shame. It is causing her to be in like positions and situations that she feels are beneath her and are shameful to her, and she doesn't like it. And whether or not she doesn't care what other people think, what matters is what she thinks about herself. And she does not like being in that position, and she wants this spell to be over and done with. And so when at the end of this scene, it's going to be the whole secret of why Luke and Naya are acting so awkward and weird is going to be revealed. Because the thing about Luke is like Naya is normally cool, calm, and collect. She's very poised, but today she's like nervous, and she's displaying this very scared and like awkward movements, and like especially around Luke, and almost like she tenses up whenever he comes around. It's like it's just weird things that she normally wasn't doing. Well, with Luke, he's normally very chill and relaxed, but today he is like acting like more overprotective and like kind of controlling, and he's like moving her around and directing her places, and he's like, you need to go get your plate, go get this, go do that, like, which is weird. Like it's to the point where even Anna and Carlo notice, and they're like, the fuck, like what, like it's weird. It's weird. So they're just like, why? But Anna is kind of equating it back to, well, he's being his normal bossy self, just like when we were in our final fight against Roshanara and her demons. Like, this is how he is. He's just a fucking bossy asshole. Meanwhile, Carlo is kind of like, he's always been the one that's kind of more wise, even though people look at him like, oh, he smokes weed and he's just a laid back kid that lays down by the creek smoking weed. In reality, it's like, nah, kid is actually, he's really pretty wise. And so he's like just trying to observe. Like, I know there's something more to this. Like, there's something more going on here that we're just not seeing or we don't know. And so when they see this behavior, and then Chelsea finally like accuses Luke in this way of like, where she's like, keep your hands off of Naya. It's weird because everyone's dealing with different things. So Clara is already dealing with her own secret involving Luke and Naya. and her kind of violating their privacy in a certain way, and her conflicted feelings about Naya in such a way where, and I have to write this in here, that when Chelsea Lee says, keep your hands off of Naya, she almost thought it came from her. Like, because the whole time, like, whenever she sees Luke and Naya together and he's always like hugged up on her, like, she understands Luke is very affectionate. They're very affectionate with each other. But she has these very conflicting feelings that she's not sure about. Like, she's never thought like this before. And plus, she also has a crush on Matt. So, like, and she's, you know, it's like, what? Like, what? She does not know what she is. What she knows is, I'm a Christian girl from the South. I know what I should feel. What I'm currently feeling is confusing to me. And what I'm currently doing and keeping a secret from everyone is very confusing to me as well. And I could never, ever let anyone know. That is a mystery that would be revealed elsewhere. Like, that's some secret fan clubs type mystery that would need to be revealed. But this, the point is, she's doing something very secretive that violates Luke and Naya's privacy on so many levels. And so when Chelsea Lee says, keep your hands off of Naya, Clara, like, kind of snaps her head up and, like, checks herself and was like, did I say that? Um, that's like how in her own mind Clara is right now. And so anyway, it's Chelsea has just been mean mugging Luke all day. Like, I mean, giving him just the evil eye when he tries to joke with her and laugh with her and, hey, you know, get her to smile. She just, like, shoots daggers at him and crosses her arms and, like, refuses to talk. He's like, what's wrong with you? Why you not speaking? Oh, why you acting all aggy? Nah, he doesn't know that she was outside the door and heard him and Naya. And remember, him and Naya are already mortified that they did this in his mom's bedroom. So they're kind of like, oh my God. So they're because again, they're good kids. They were just caught by the puppet spell. And this is why they're both like, we got to figure out a way to control this and to get over this. We have to figure out a way to get this off of us because we can't succumb to the puppet spell. We can't let it consume us. At some point, it's going to get to a point where this is all we do, and we can't. Like, that is the ultimate curse. So, and this is not YA, by the way. This is new adult. This is NA, new adult. Trying to push us into new adult. Like, these two are. She is actually like 36, but they age at half the speed as us. So she looks 18. Luke is 18, about to be 19, and he's going off living his life. That's what this story is going to be about. How is he adjusting to life and doing the adult things after high school? This does not take place in high school. Those two will still be in high school, his younger sister and brother, of course. But this is a story of a guy who is no longer in high school, but has a younger brother and sister maybe who are, and he doesn't need to be going back there too often and whatnot. He'll go back there sometimes, but he ain't trying to be back there all the time. This story is not going to be, so book 2 is really, yeah, it's time to get them out of here. It's time to get them out of high school. Him, Anna, Naya, and Carlo. Time to graduate them out. Even though he looks like a baby and he has a baby face. That's because when he turned, he was only 13. And so he ages now. He's only aged what looks like 2 years. So he looks like 15 now, even though he's like 18. So yeah. that is where we're at. Um, it's 2:58. I've got 2 minutes to go, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drop off and do a nice little write. I did more talking than I did typing. Okay. And so when she's like, keep your hands off Naya, that's when Carlo and Anna are like, okay, let's, and they're almost ready to like, it's like lights, camera, action. Let's go. They're about to jump on Luke. Like, let's go. And, but Luke is like defending himself. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I would never hit a woman. I have never put my hands on a woman in my life. Like, no, like, what are you talking about? And as the explanation comes out and the realization of what was actually heard by Chelsea Lee comes about, Naya's mortification shoots to skyrocketing height, like just skyrockets to like heights that should not be reached by anyone. And she just wants the floor and the earth and everything to open up and just transport her to Rito where her elder Luke is, and she can just hide forever. And yeah, it doesn't help that Matt and Shayna immediately start laughing, because the way it comes out is like Chelsea is just like, no, I heard. It sounded like she was crying, and I heard her say, please don't. And she said, stop. And it was kind of like everybody just got it in that moment. And Matt's the first one to start laughing. And then Shayna and like Anna and Carlo, because they were ready to, like, they were in Nuck If You Buck mode. But now they see like, oh, this was just a huge misunderstanding. They're kind of laughing awkwardly, which increases Naya's mortification. And I think that's part of the reason I've been hesitant to write this scene, is because I do not want to go into that place of embarrassment where like the entire room knows this. And then now his mom now knows, because that was the whole secret they were trying to keep the entire day. Like, because Naya's like, she knows, she's going to find out. Oh my God, she knows. And she and Miss Shanice have a very good relationship. She's the type of mom you want to have the respect of. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I like being the girlfriend that the mom likes. That's Naya's point of view. She's like, I like Miss Shanice, and I like that she likes me. And here comes Miss Pink again. We're not ready to write you yet. We're not ready to write that scene. But yeah, that's one of those things where she's just like, no, I kind of do like our relationship, and I like that we're cool, and I do not want to disrespect you. And that was disrespectful, what we did. I'm fully aware of the fact that what we did was disrespectful. So this is a lot of what has to be brought in, because this is a situation where now it's a test of what is Luke willing to tell his mom and share with his mom. He and his mom have always been really close, and he used to share pretty much everything with her within reason. And now that he's a half demon, it's like he's starting to keep more secrets from her, even though she knows that he's a half demon, and she knows that her daughter is. She wants them to tell her. Like, she's not dumb. She grew up in this town, and she knows how effed up it is. And she saw all of the spirits and ghosts roaming around in the sky the night that her children were turned. So she knew something bad was going on. She just didn't have the power to stop it, which is every mother's worst nightmare, you know? And so It's a situation where, yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and write it now, and let's go ahead and get her done. Um, I kind of started writing out some story beats, and I feel like it's time. I'm ready to put on pink and just kind of, well, not even kind of, definitely escape this world for 1 hour. We are leaving this world, you guys, and then we're gonna go into their world, which is a mirror of our world, but closer to the veil. Their veil is more ripped than ours is, so magic works for them. So that's that. I will talk to you guys later, and thank you for joining me on Right With Me. Later.